Internet, hello and welcome to Coy Cubed. I hope you are doing very, very well. Today is going to be a slightly shorter episode for two reasons, one of which being, there's not a lot of news. The second of which being we are going to be doing a My Hero Academia Movie 3 review, the third movie that is in theaters right now. I'm going to be reviewing on this very channel as soon as this is over, plus about 10 minutes to shake the cobwebs, diving back in. So we're doing a patron review of My Hero Academia, which is welcome to all, especially if you've seen it. Going to be diving into non-spoilers and spoilers alike. So doing that probably about 6:45. But we are going to be diving into this week's news, which includes lots and lots of craziness, but not a lot of news. The news is good where it is, but there's not a lot of it. We're going to start off with the No Way Home poster. The biggest news of the week for me, and I do talk about it on tomorrow's Coycast, is the No Way Home poster gives us further confirmation of 4 villains, leading to, I believe, a Sinister 6. One of the reasons I want to put this at the top of the show is the number of people, when I've talked about these Sinister 6, have been saying like, well, blah, blah, blah said it was only 5, or that it's going to be blah, 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 blah. The movie's not out yet, and it would be foolish of a property known for a Sinister 6 to not have like a 6th member, to stop at 5, to have like a Fiendish 5 or a Fearsome 4 does not make any sense. So I'm pretty sure there will be a 6th member, and we will be getting a Sinister 6. They're just saving those two for a nice surprise of the actual movie itself. It is an interesting time with everything going on with Spider-Man. We're about a month out. I think it's going to be next week when we get our next trailer. I think leading up to Ghostbusters, that is a giant Sony property. I do believe we're going to be having a trailer probably drop, I would assume, on Monday, leading up to it being attached to that Thursday's Ghostbusters. That's what I would hope. That's what I would assume. I gotta say, I just keep shifting my way because my mom sent me a screenshot of how it looks to you guys. For me, the blocks of text appear on the other side of the screen, so I didn't realize that most of these shows, they've been right over my face. So all apologies, I'm getting used to being on the side that looks the opposite for me. Anyway, very excited about No Way Home getting a poster leading up to the trailer, like I said, probably on Monday. We are also, as we had last week, having the world of Morbius start to intertwine. I see Not Rick's Morris. Welcome back, man, in the chat. I don't think it's going to be Venom and Morbius. I think that's too much. I do think it might be Mysterio as the 5th. I do think it might be a Venom post-credit scene. I do think Vulture's on the table. There's a lot of characters they've already introduced more so. Venom, you need a lot more time, and Morbius we haven't met yet. So I'm thinking it's going to be one of the ones we've already experienced as completing the 6, with those two being the most likely for me. But that being said, the world of Morbius does appear to be a multiple universe situation, which is just insane. It looks like we've got the video game Tobey Maguire Spider-Man from the PS2 game on the wall. We've got Oscorp having the signage from Amazing Spider-Man. We've obviously got Tom Holland's Vulture in Michael Keaton in the trailer. So it's going to be really curious how No Way Home leaves us. That being said, I do still stand by my belief that we are ending it with Tom Holland having No Way Home. I do think he's going to be stuck out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I do think, not forever, but I do think we're going to have some Spidey solo adventures, which I wouldn't mind having a friendly neighborhood take on the chaos of Spider-Man. I'd like more contained, a little less Iron Spider, a little more Spider-Man. We also might take a little break from Tom Holland Spider-Man. I doubt that personally, but any of these things are possible. I'm very curious. That being said, while starting the press rounds, Tom Holland has come out with some very cleverly phrased words about the movie. He has an interview, and I found it over at Games Radar, where he talks about the Spider-Verse and being not intimidated, but a little trepidatious around the icons of Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx, saying that, quote, everyone puts their trousers on the same way in the morning, which is very charming. Going on to say it was interesting having those guys come in because they have a certain ownership over Spider-Man and in their own way. He stumbled over his words a little bit, which obviously he's known for being accidentally the one that reveals stuff. So it's very impressive and precious that he's navigating this world with a movie that's so cloaked in secrecy. Further saying, quote, "I'm talking about Alfred and Jamie and those guys. To see Alfred come in and to have to adapt and change to the way that these films are made, but also change director, and also the fact that I'm now Spider-Man. It was really interesting to see those actors adapt and change what they were doing in the modern era." He further said, quote, "The movie is dark, and it's sad, and it's going to be really affecting. You're going to see characters that you love go through things that you would never want for them to go through." And it was just really exciting to lean into that side of Peter Parker. Now, Spider-Man is a dark character at times. He goes through quite a lot. I really hope that it is a situation where we don't get necessarily the devil stuff in the One More Day. I do think that we're in a really tricky opportunity right now to have this character living in two universes. You know, there's Marvel, obviously, and there's obviously the Sony universe and all these things, and the Sony universe is building out so quickly with your Kraven, with your Morbius, with your Venom. So it's going to be really interesting where this all lands, but I think some of that sadness might be my theory of him being in place. I'm going to talk about Eternals in just a sec. If you guys haven't been following, I've done so much Eternals coverage. I love this Eternals movie. I need to see it one more time, and then I'm going to do my MCU re-ranking. Maybe that'll even be next week's show, me re-ranking the MCU. But as of right now, it falls, for me, my opinion, only mine, just after Black Panther, right before Shang-Chi. So it is that sweet 10 spot. It moved Shang-Chi out of the 10th place. It is now my number 10 Marvel Cinematic Universe film, and that is out of the 30 properties, because I personally include the shows. So Loki is, I believe, number 8, Black Panther 9, and this 10, and then obviously I'll break down the rest of you guys. But it is that high, which is some high praise. But I did see a Super Chat or Streamlab, one of the two, come in. It is from Ishmael Montoya. I was trying to navigate this. Ishmael Montoya says, "Hey Coy, John Campea killed it for some thoughts." I don't know Campea that well. I have met him recently, actually, after an Eternal screening, and he was perfectly nice. We've been in the same circles for a long time, but I don't know the guy. So I don't like to speak ill of people I don't know. That being said, I personally, as a fan of Spider-Man, am very upset that if those are real, that I've seen them. So again, he thought they weren't, and I really don't hold individuals to any standard, especially if I don't know them. But it is a really tricky thing for me, because I've loved this character since I could read. I learned to read with Spider-Man. So a moment this big isn't made for a phone screen. It's not made for a unfinished, uncut, seemingly juxtaposed with lots of other images and lighting. It just, all of that is, I don't know. It's not the way you want to see it. So I don't know if they're real. I do think it's a mighty big coincidence that they pop up so soon after that quote that Tom Holland said about people sitting around a table. It seems to me that if you were going to Photoshop any image, you would be finding an image of that set and then putting someone like who's in that image in it. But overall, I'm just bummed, because I'm afraid of two things. Option one, the movie doesn't have all of the things that people want it to, and they're disappointed, even though it's an insane multi-million-dollar Spider-Man movie, the likes of which I would have never dreamed of. A Sinister Six movie should be enough. And hey, I would love to see some of the things we have rumors about. Or B, we know too much going into it. So I'm trying to avoid as much as I can. I don't love that it happened. You guys have seen some of my Twitter sass. But that is where I stand on it since you asked. I wasn't going to comment on it, but you got a super chat. So that is where I stand. And I do feel bad for the guy, for what it's worth, if he actually didn't know. I don't know him enough to know how he handles these things. I don't know him enough to know whether or not that was conscious. I just don't know the guy. So I'm not going to speak on his choice there, because I don't know him. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. But that is where I am on it. As a fan, bummed. As a professional, really bummed. As a comic book professional, I think journalism is very, 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 very important in its integrity. I think integrity is probably the most important part of journalism. So the more we get into clickbait culture, and the more we get into unveiling of things before they're ready, the more we all lose. We lose as movie fans, we lose as comic fans, we lose as journalists, because everyone's gonna be chasing the next scoop instead of enjoying the shit. I love that Endgame. I got to like ride that. I got to experience that movie. So the more I can enjoy these things, the better I think everyone's experience is. But I don't like spoilers, and a lot of people do. So that's where I stand. I know a lot of people are excited for every little morsel, but then you don't have... If you've eaten all the crumbs on the way to the movie, then you're full. You've ruined your appetite. And I feel like I don't want to ruin my appetite. I want to experience these things. And I also don't want... Every time I interview somebody, there's this automatic like hackles are raised because of people interviewing them and trying to get scoops. I don't want scoops. I want to have a good conversation with someone. So it puts me in a position where if everyone else is going for a scoop, if they're getting more clicks, one, places aren't as likely to hire me, but two, the talent is not going to be as available to have a real conversation. So it's a lot of losses. It's a lot about integrity, and it's a lot about what you want out of journalism. So it sucks, again, professionally, personally, and comic bookily. But yeah, that is where I feel about it. I wasn't going to talk about it as per my talking about the poster, but I did want to honestly answer Mr. Ishmael Montoya. All right, let's get into Eternals, shall we? Eternals. Big fan. Big fucking fan. Top 10, I've already said. I'm not going to do a spoiler review here because I am giving you guys my first ever edited video this week, which I filmed way too long. Ended up filming a 27-minute video. I'm going to try to chop it down a little bit. It's probably still going to be like 24, 25 minutes, but I've never edited, so me editing my first video should not have started with 27 minutes, but I did a full spoiler review of Eternals for this channel that I'm trying to make the first bit of content. I like Eternals so much, I want it to be the first polished thing. So we're going to have graphics, we're going to have edits, we're going to have all the zhuzh. I'm going to try to make this channel a lot more polished in 2022. As I said, we've got a lot more people in here. We are only 250-ish, like 240 something, 250 or so subscribers away from 10,000 subscribers. So thank you to all the new folks. Got about 500 new subscribers this week. I want to keep that ball rolling. I want to end the year over 10,000. So thank you to everyone that's new, but with that, I want to make sure this channel is worth 10,000 subscribers. So I'm going to be doing less live streams, more polished stuff, more edits, more graphics, more of that kind of video. Still the occasional live stream, maybe 2 a month instead of 4 a month, but I am looking at learning how to edit and making this channel a bit more zhuzh so I can go to these junkets and red carpets as me instead of for these other networks. So that is the plan. That being said, Eternals is the first one, but it's going to take me some time to edit it. So in the meantime, I've done coverage over at SEN's The Big Thing, both spoiler and non-spoiler. I've done a Real Rejects non-spoiler. I have done non-spoiler on Instagram and Twitter, as well as a full spoiler conversation with Greg and John at Real Rejects. So you can find lots of Eternals coverage from me everywhere you get your content. But I will be doing an edited video here. I'm hoping to drop it by Friday. That's a full week after the release, and it's a spoiler video, so that is the plan as of now. But that is what this channel is going to be becoming, so I hope you're along for the ride with me. And again, thank you to all the new folk. That being said, while we are talking about the Eternals, the Rotten Tomatoes situation is tricky because I know a lot of people that didn't like it, and I'm friends with a lot of people that give it the rotten score that it is, that I obviously disagree with. What I personally, as Coy, not as a critic, because I'm not a critic, and not as a comic fan, because I don't know the Eternals as well as I know most things. I know all of this better. I know, street level Marvel better. I do know some cosmic Marvel. I'm friends with Jim, but I don't know Eternals as well as I know most teams. I'm going to be fully honest about that. So it was kind of nice to watch a movie and get to be a little bit more like, oh, I'm not going to guess what happens next. That being said, every 10th comment I've seen on these reviews I've done, this myriad of reviews I've done, has been, I don't understand Americans' fear of sex, and I do think that's extremely detrimental for us as a culture. And I don't care if you're in this chat and you're Catholic, Christian, Muslim, Jewish, I don't care, it doesn't matter. Sex is how you got here. And it's really weird that I've been fighting this anti-LGBTQ problem with this country for a long time. I identify as straight, but I have more friends than I can count that don't. And to have those people hate my friends is never going to be okay with me. So to have people upset about the Fastos kiss is what I've been battling in all these reviews. That is the thing I've already been doing. So I'm setting that aside for the moment to address a different thing. And that is that for whatever reason, a lot of people are like, boo, but there's a sex scene. I don't understand how the tamest sex scene in the history of cinema affected people negatively. Especially to the point where these movies are action-packed. There's a fair amount of violence. If you're worried about your kid seeing someone dusted into oblivion and being worried about like continuing on more than you're worried about them seeing some shoulders, I don't trust you as a parent. I don't care what age they are. That's weird. I just don't know how to solve the problem because we were founded by Puritans, frankly. We call it religious freedom, but it's more about being a nation of religion. We still swear in a Bible. We still claim that we let people do what they want and don't. It's terrifying that it's 2021 and there's even this conversation. Sex is literally how we exist. It should be consensual. It should be very mutually beneficial. Like we've learned Batman is, according to Batman writers, not like, some Batman creators on certain other shows. And it should most of all be a beautiful, on purpose thing. I don't get how that's better or worse than any of the other things we've been experiencing with this 2021 of it all. But it's really affecting me in a way that I didn't expect. I thought we were further along than this. It's worrisome for us as a culture and as a society that people think sex is bad. And that's how you get abstinence education, and that's how you get a really dangerous world where people don't know what sex is and then they have it, and it's not fair to anyone. I don't know. I'm going to make this more of a thing going forward. I've decided that I survived a fucking pandemic, so I'm going to be more myself on Twitter and on YouTube and everywhere else. My team's going to hate it, my management team, and people I work with might, but I'm not going to let the American standard of ignorance and blind hatred and violence being okay be my standard. I'm going to be honest and open about what I think. My opinion, that's why you're here, about this shit. And I hope that doesn't cost me jobs. But at the end of the day, it's really important to me that people aren't afraid of consensual sex and that people aren't afraid of the importance of drug awareness and the importance of being aware that you can't fucking die from mushrooms, but you can die from drinking yourself to death. There's shit that people just have gotten so ass backwards in this country. So I'm gonna be a little bit more me with my stuff, and authenticity is what content's about, especially in this age of YouTube. And there's plenty of people you can watch if you want to watch more content that's just really surface pop culture. You got Twitter, you got lots of other pundits. You want to watch people have very surface, borderline propagandic opinions. You got plenty of content for that. I am here because it bothers me that people are afraid of sex. It bothers me that people are afraid of two men that love each other, that have a child together kissing. It bothers me that people don't want to experience a movie with 10 different leads that represent 10 different types of people. I look like me. There's a lot of Chris's that look like me. I'm good. I want little girls to have a hero that gets just as much screen time. I want people that love other dudes to get a guy that they can identify with. I do look like me, and I've had 10 Chris's, and I still was holy fucking Irish accent, because I felt even more represented. I want that feeling for everybody, and that includes sexuality. So I don't think I will be as quiet as I have been, and I don't think people claiming that... I got a lot of kickback with saying that gay kisses are just as appropriate as straight kisses because people are claiming that their religion says it isn't. You don't choose who you love, you do choose your religion. So I'm not going to be in a position of letting you be intolerant under the guise of religion and hurt people I care about. It's 2021. This isn't 1821. So no, you fucks. That's not okay. But Eternals is something that I love. So this is going to be a conversation for a while. And a lot of people found me through Eternals, and I appreciate it, and welcome. I got to host the Eternals opening at the El Capitan Theater, the first fan screening, the first showing of that fucking movie here that wasn't a press screening. I got to host that with Nerdist, with Marvel. It was an honor, and it was hundreds of people as far as the eye could see, and I got to present that to them, and they loved the movie, and I got to watch it with them and cheer and be excited with them. That's what I want. So my job is working towards more of those moments where people feel welcome, where people feel included, where people feel like it's their world. And if you're being an asshole for I don't give a fuck reason, there's no reason in the world, zero reason, for you to say that two people that love each other consensually, that are both of sound mind and age, shouldn't be together. End rant. I love you. I appreciate you. Okay, back to some talking about news, because I appreciate you guys, and I feel like I don't want this to be a pulpit I stand on. I do want to say, while we're talking about a bit of darkness, and we talked about Spider-Man, I forgot there is a fantastic Andrew Garfield quote that kind of ties into the darkness of the world right now. I want to read to you lovelies. It is about him playing Spider-Man, and it's really sad, and I really hope that he does get to really love this character in watching Tom, or if he's in the movie, which I really don't know. Honestly, I don't know, and I don't want to know. I want to find out on December 17th. But he did say, talking about Spider-Man, quote, this is Andrew Garfield, I went from being a naive boy to growing up. How did I ever imagine that it was going to be a pure experience? There are millions of dollars at stake, and that's what guides the ship. It was a big awakening, and it hurt. Comic-Con in San Diego was full of grown men and women still in touch with that pure thing the character meant to them. But you add in market forces and test groups, and suddenly the focus is less on the soul of it and more on ensuring that we make as much money as possible. And I find that heartbreaking in all manners of the culture. Money is the thing that has corrupted all of us and led to the terrible ecological collapse that we are all about to die under. Dark. And then he said, I'm joking. It'll take a bunch of years before that happens, trying to end with some levity. But that does tie into both the Spider-Man conversation we were having, but also into this conversation. Eternals has made $71 million domestic in its opening weekend. It's made 167 something international. Those aren't crazy numbers, but those are solid pandemic numbers. I've seen a lot of people that want to hate on this movie be like, it's the 5th worst opening in the Marvel Universe. Yeah, there's a plague afoot. Things are getting better. We are moving into an endemic from a pandemic. So things are going to be different with numbers and everything else, but this still isn't Endgame era and earlier. So yeah, it's going to be... I'm really frustrated where everything is based on money. I don't think Kevin Feige and the powers that be at Marvel, the geniuses that shape this universe, are going to look at this as a loss. I think we're going to make 4 Marvel movies a year, and it's going to be a situation where one of them might be a loss leader and 3 of them make gangbusters money, and that bolsters the 4th one. I want more Eternals-like content. I want an Eternals 2. And then you get your fun, make all the money in the world to keep these going. This furthers the story out, and it lets you think, and you get your Loki shit, and then you've got 3 sell a lot of stuff movies, which are still fun. Obviously, I love this shit. I live this shit. But I think that they're not going to see this as a loss, and we're going to be experiencing a different kind of Marvel after and through Phase 4, and I don't think that's going to change because of this movie in a bad way. I think it's a good way. Everyone worried that the reviews and the box office is going to hinder an Eternals 2. I think Kevin Feige and everybody's way too smart for that. I think they know what their audience really wants, and I think they're aware of the exceptions at this time and the loud voices that don't speak for all of us. That is the end of my Eternals rant. I'm going to check on the Super Chat and the Streamlabs, you lovelies. All right, we're going to refresh. Dramatic pause. Here we are. Wait for it. Almost. Loading very slow because we're doing a live stream. Oh no, it may have frozen. I can't be sure. Dramatic pause. We're going to lose all of our audience. Also, this is without announcing, without sharing on social media, without anything. We got 50 people in the chat. Usually we're rocking at around 30. It is nice to have a new influx of folk and that I feel like is because of all the stuff I've been doing by other networks, and you are all very welcome, and I appreciate the fuck out of you. All right, we got another one from Ishmael Montoya. Coy, do you see the story of Eternals to be followed up in Eternals 2, or do you see the consequences of what happening to leak in other films and series? What a perfect segue that I could not have possibly known because I hadn't opened that yet. Thank you very much for leading me from my last thing into this. I do think we're getting an Eternals 2. I'm not going to spoil the ending of Eternals 1 because it's only been out for a week, but I do think that the events at the end of Eternals allow for certain characters to bleed into other Marvel properties, including one that just started filming, as well as them get their own movie with the team as it is at the end of the movie allows for both options. So I think we're going to get a universe where we get an Eternals 2, but also I do expect to see these characters either referenced, but I do think the Eternals should stay off planet. I do think the Eternals should be a deity where they don't interact with Iron Man, Thor, Captain America. That's what I mean by off-planet. I think they should be removed from humanity because they're like a Deus Ex Machina. They're too powerful to just be like hanging out. So like I think they should be cosmic characters. So for me, I would like to see them get an Eternals 2 so they can do their own stuff, removed from the other characters where there's less continuity issues. I'd love to see them come back to Earth or be on Earth or start at Earth or flashback to Earth or any of those things. But I don't want that to be an issue with the other properties because I liked how heady this was and how separate it felt. So yeah, I think Eternals 2 is the best move. Hopefully that answers your question. Norvel Jacinta Jumpy Guy. Thanks for the Streamlab Jumpy Guy. I appreciate your Jumpy Guy very much. Dan V900. Andrew Garfield's quote reminds me of the Val Kilmer quote from the great documentary. If you guys haven't seen that, it is Val. It is an A24 documentary, the first A24 documentary. It's called Val. It is on Amazon. It is exceptional. When it comes to playing Batman, heartbreaking stuff. Yeah, you love being Batman, but playing Batman is a different thing. You want to be Batman, not play Batman, he talks about. And yeah, the rubber suits and everything were crushing. Apparently Robert Pattinson auditioned in that Val Kilmer suit. But yeah, I hear it's a rough time. I hope it was a better experience for Pattinson. I hope it's a great experience for Holland. I think we're learning how to balance all of these things, and it's not as soul-crushing, I hope. But yeah, that quote is very reminiscent of that. I totally agree. We will see. All right, into the next little bits of news. We are almost done with this episode. Remember, we're going to be doing My Hero Academia after this at about 6:45. Stranger Things got a trailer. I will say that I'm a huge Stranger Things fan. In fact, boom, I don't know if you can see that. That is my Stranger Things poster up on the wall over there. Big Stranger Things fan. And I do think that trailer was the least me trailer they've released so far. I'm still excited because it's Stranger Things, but the trailer did very little for me as compared to what the other trailers have done for me. I'm sure why not Spring Break, new place. Obviously, after the events of Stranger Things Season 3, we got to mix it up. But I do find myself going like, at the trailer instead of my usual cacophonous excitement. So we'll see. I gave you guys my general Eternal thoughts. I wrote that note down. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has begun filming as of last week with Will Poulter in the cast announcement photo. He has been long confirmed, well, internet long, 3 weeks confirmed, but seeing him in the photo with the rest of the cast makes me very, very happy. So Will Poulter, seemingly a decent-sized part as Adam Warlock in the film, which Jim Starlin this week said should be seen as Cosmic Batman, which makes me very fucking excited. That is a great description. Black Panther 2 has paused production, on the other hand. Letitia Wright was injured about a month ago on set in Atlanta, and they worked around that for quite some time. They filmed things without Letitia Wright's character, but as it seems that Shuri will be taking on the Black Panther mantle, I'm sure the lion's share of the film is in dealing with Letitia Wright, and her injuries were such that they can't resume filming yet. So Black Panther has paused filming. I don't know what that's going to do with release dates. I don't know what that's going to do with the cascading effect of all the Marvel films, but I wish her a speedy recovery. And finally, John Wick 4 has wrapped. John Wick 4 is probably going to get a title announcement and a poster maybe sometime soon. Lately, they've been doing posters closer to release, but I also feel like wrapping, sometimes you get a poster as well. So John Wick 4 has officially wrapped, which means we are getting John Wick 4 as officially as it gets. On the other side of things, Rogue Squadron, the Patty Jenkins Star Wars film, has been delayed and seemingly taken off the release calendar. Now, I am a big fan of Patty Jenkins. I think Monster and Wonder Woman are fantastic films. I really hope she gets to do her Star Wars. I really hope to see her vision in that way. I think her teaser at D23 was exceptional. Very excited about that. By the way, Friday is Disney Day. I'm going to be covering it on TikTok, and maybe I'll do like a wrap-up video here, but I don't know about that yet. But I will be talking about that very, very soon after Friday in whatever format. But TikTok, for sure. If you guys don't follow me on the TikTok, I'm going to do little 1-minute reaction videos. So yeah, I'm a little bummed about that, but I am hearing that Kevin Feige producing Chloe Zhao doing a Star Wars movie is another thing. So I want Patty Jenkins on Rogue Squadron. I want Chloe Zhao doing another Star Wars film as well. I want Kevin Feige producing. If all of this happens, I'll be very, very in the world of Star Wars, which I'm generally not as much. Stoked for Boba Fett, stoked for Mandalorian, but the fandom is so intense and the lore is so deep, and not knowing enough is very, the fandom is very intense about what you do and don't know, so that's why I usually don't talk about it. But those properties, very excited about. In the world of just regular movies, Tom Hardy and Channing Tatum have signed on to an Afghanistan evacuation movie. Big fan of both those two gems, very curious about that project. And finally, in the world of documentaries, Alanis Morissette is getting an episode of the HBO music documentary. The first episode was that Woodstock 99 episode. The second episode is Alanis Morissette. It is called Jagged. There's a trailer as of today for Jagged. It drops on November 18th. I'm a big Alanis Morissette fan, so I'm excited to see Alanis Morissette documentary over on HBO. Debuts in a little over a week, 9 days. Jagged. She's a powerhouse and was so young when she was like shaping music that informed a lot of our childhood, so I'm really excited to see that documentary. And I think that's everything, you lovelies. Let me check on the chat real quick, and then I'm going to wrap out, and then I'll be back in half an hour. I do have a bit of Matrix news. Levi says, Matrix teasers. I haven't watched any more things except the trailer, personally, because I'm deciding whether or not I want to like deep dive or if I want to be in the Matrix. But I can tell you guys, I've been working on some Matrix stuff with Christian, and we're going to be doing a rewatch, so I'll be doing all my philosophical debating about Matrix, as well as perhaps Miss Perry Nemiroff. So lots of Matrix stuff coming from me. About the same amount of Matrix stuff coming from me as there is Eternal stuff coming from me. So we will see how that goes. This is really cool. Over at Collider, Jessica Henwick, who is the one with the white rabbit tattoo and the awesome blue hair in the Matrix trailer. She was also in Iron Fist. Jessica Henwick is a fucking rock star, and she's a boss. Talked about the COVID thing, and I did not know what happened with this to this level, but she said, quote, that's somewhere I felt, talking about the fight scenes. That's somewhere I felt pressure because those fights are so similar to the Matrix. Those moments from the original have stayed in my head. So many of those fight beats, that was really where I was intimidated going into it. I knew it had to be performing up there. You're performing with Keanu. It's John Wick. He knows what he's doing. You can't hold him back in any way. I had to give it my all. I devoted myself to it. We trained pretty hard in the run-up, and we keep training all the way through filming. When we were shut down for COVID, we went off for 3 months, and I still was at home training every day. She's a boss. Even though we didn't know if we were coming back. When we got shut down for COVID, Lana said, well, maybe that's it. Maybe we won't come back and the film will be the rest of it. Maybe we won't come back and film the rest of it. Maybe the new Matrix will go down as this legendary film which was incomplete and that no one will ever be able to see. Maybe that's what this is meant to be, and we were all going, no, you have to finish the film, but you really did toy with the idea of just having to call it quits. For me, even though I didn't know whether we would come back, I couldn't think about that, and so I trained throughout the entire break because I just had to focus. I just had to be positive and go, no, we're going to finish the film, we have to. This can't be how the Matrix journey ends. I bring up this quote for a myriad of reasons. One, because she's a boss, and I'm so excited to see these fights. Two, because she trained her ass off through COVID, and I'm very excited to see the physicality brought back to the Matrix with wire work instead of the heavy CGI sequels. I really think we're going to get some awesome martial arts on wires and more physicality instead of just cartoons fighting. And three, hadn't even fucking thought about that with the Matrix. They shut down for 3 months. You, after 3 months, are going to feel like you're never going back. With COVID, we didn't know what the world was going to be again. Remember when we were like wiping down groceries and not knowing if and when the world would resume normalcy? Imagine a hundreds of millions dollars movie not knowing if you're going to go back and film it, because if it was ever going to be safe again. Remember how we felt a year and a half ago, how different the world was, not knowing what reality was, much like the Matrix, but also not knowing when or if things would get better. I cannot imagine the stakes of being mid-filming and having something like that. And that's the first I've heard the Matrix was like, maybe that's it. Thought that was fascinating. Wanted to share that with you lovelies. That, I do believe, is going to do it for this week's episode. Last little tease. I don't know if you guys have seen Eternals fully, but if you haven't, I won't give anything away. If you have, I'm going to say something that's going to only enhance something. Originally, one of the post-credit scenes featured Mr. Sam Wilson as Captain America, and it is a fun idea of the what if of that post-credit scene versus the two we got, which were two of my favorite post-credit scenes in a long time. They're both Avengers-level post-credit scenes. They're crazy post-credit scenes. But one of them almost featured Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson as Captain America on the big screen for the first time. Because remember, the last episode of the show, we haven't had a movie with him yet. So very, very intriguing stuff. 6:45. Come on back in here and join me for a My Hero Academia review. Everyone that's new, thank you. Welcome to the channel. You probably saw me on The Big Thing or Real Rejects or yelling on Twitter. Welcome. Everyone that has been here a long time, welcome in the new folks. I appreciate the fuck out of all of you. We are 240-something from 10,000 on this channel. That makes me very happy. I'm going to try to get an edited Eternal spoiler review up for you guys by the end of the week. I'm learning how to edit so I can do some nice polished with graphics videos, and we're going to kick that off with Eternals, a spoiler full review that I opened with no spoilers. But I want to thank everyone in the chat. We got Darth Vader, we got Marvel Cuphead, we got Not Ricks and Morris making his way back. We got Black Loki, we got SB Media 20. It's good to catch you live too. We got Bernardus Andrew, that is a cool name. Let's see. Levi Tendell, we got Andrew Harden, we got ATH Media, we got Wakanda 3000, we got Restalair, we got the folks that sent Streamlabs, including Dan V900, Norvell, and the great Ishmael Montoya. We got Travis Earl. We got the great Michael McCarsell, patron saint of Watch-Alongs himself. We are actually going to be doing Blade next week. I'm going to announce it right here, right now. Blade next week at like 6 o'clock. I hope you're ready, because some motherfuckers always got to ice skate uphill. We're going to be doing a feature-length commentary watch-along of Blade next Wednesday, week from tomorrow. Strap the fuck in. It's going to be awesome. Also, the watch-along monthly is due to the great Michael McCarsell. The reviews are thanks to AJ Lancaster, and I did a review for him for What the Show of John Dies at the End last week. So check out me talking about John Dies at the End with AJ over Zoom. My first Zoom review with someone, my first co-host Zoom review was for John Dies at the End, and then today's review is for the ever-lovely John Getz. We got Will the Thrill. We got Curtis Mason, patron saint of unboxing. We're going to be doing unboxing tomorrow. We've got a new display. We've got a new one of these tomorrow of a minimalist poster because basically I don't like days where I don't make content. You hear all that shit I just said? Add to that the Collider stuff I'm doing, the Schmodown stuff I'm doing, the Big Thing stuff I'm doing, the SEN stuff I'm doing, the stuff I can't talk about yet, but you guys are going to be so excited if it comes together stuff I'm doing, all the Real Reject stuff I'm doing. Can't stop. But I am tired. I'm very tired. But I can't stop because I really want to bring you guys bigger and bigger stuff. And that happens with growth. And that's why I appreciate all of you new folks at the channel. Remy's Art. I appreciate you very much. And I agree with what you're saying there. We got John Getz in the chat. We got Manny, the movie nerd. We got Omni432. We got Jin Saku. We got Leonard Kim. We got Jason Ritchie. My boy from back east, Mr. Jason Ritchie. We got, let's see. We got Mr. Matthew Limke. It's a cool name with an E at the end. I like that. Ephraim Guzman, how we doing? We got Scott Welsh, the great Scott Welsh. Big fan of that gentleman. Kylie, we got one of my newest patrons in here. Kylie, whooping ass, taking names. We got Dana McClendon. We got, I think that's everybody. The Zach Mendoza, another one of the OGs. We got Emily Keller. We have, okay, I think I did it. I think I got folks. We got HH Media, I already said. Okay, we're back near the top. Okay, you guys, I appreciate the fuck out of you. I try to read names even if I can't read every comment, but I do want you to know that I see you and I appreciate you. Literally every day I'm dropping new stuff, and TikTok is going to be a big focus for short form content, because that is what studios are looking at right now, is those TikTok numbers. So if you guys have TikToks, please do follow me. If you don't have TikToks, please make an account and follow me, even if you never use it, because I could use those numbers. You got to pump up those numbers. They're rookie numbers. And to all the new members of the Koi Pond, this is a very, very welcoming community. This chat has now two moderators, and it took 2 years to need a single moderator, and they're both patrons, which is mainly why they're moderators, just because I trust them. But I haven't needed them that much. That's how good this community is, and we talk about fucking pop culture and genre content that usually is so toxic, but it is not in this community, because this community is awesome. So that is both a promise and a threat. If you fuck with it, I'll fuck with you. If you don't fuck with it, I fuck with you. That is very important to me. Thank you for being here. So much love. John Getz, I will see you in 20 minutes over at My Hero Academia movie number 3, which is a very, very, I'm gonna kick off the review quickly here. It is a movie worthy of the big screen. It is a movie that needs the big screen. It is a movie about, it's a World Heroes Mission is a movie about the whole world, and you feel that growth of this movie, and it feels very much like My Hero Academia's God Loves, Man Kills. It's an X-Men movie, even more than the other My Hero Academia stuff. So, all right, much love. Sean gets just realized that he's a moderator. All right, I can't think of a better place to stop this stream. Leaks suck. Accidents happen. There is no excuse in bigotry. I don't care what your excuse is. It's unacceptable. Sex is very natural, more natural than violence. And I fucking love you. All right, I'll see you soon, you lovelies. Be good, be safe, be smart. My Hero Academia, 20 minutes.